you mean cool, bro? This is just how I look on all the shows, B. Like, it's just bandana, no shirt. It's just how I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga like Tupac reincarnated and shit. That's what's
I
up.
mean, shit, that would be honest. I know, I'm not even lying. Like, I'll take that any day. I mean, look at you though. You got the red background. You got the, I mean, you got the guitar and everything. I mean, this is an artist. You don't need introduction. I'm gonna introduce your ass anyway, and because all this shit is just already being recorded and we already going. Like, you are Jesse Boykins III. I don't do intros. I don't do that whole like, let's get it warm, let's get it hot. No, let's get into this shit. So you are Jesse Boykins III, musical genius, songwriter, legend, artist, multidisciplinary hyphen, stylist, model, friends of friends. If you have an artist that you like let's be real. If you have an artist that you like and they don't know Jesse, you clearly don't have an artist that's a friend. It's just a fact. Like, you are the motivator, you are the inspirator, you are the legend, you are the you're like you're the adult of the group, but damn sure the big brother. I mean, it's just like, whatever. I mean, you got to take the compliment, but it's a fact, man. Everybody that knows you knows that you are the one that keeps everybody going. You are the motivation. I mean, Josh talks about this all the time. You know, you're always the one talking about, you know, being innovative, being a visionary, keep going hard, go for what you want. I mean, that's your story amongst the friend group. You know, you are the motivation. You are the motivator. You know what I mean? The one that tells everybody, let's go get it.
That's a fact.
Period.
That's a fact. What's
Period.
up?
Period.
I didn't know we was gonna get into it like this.
Jamaican through the through. I'm not.
Walk Cleon.
Walk, Regiment. Walk, go on. So two Jamaicans on the line. This is about to get chaotic. Two try to shoot Jamaicans on this shit. This is about to be interesting.
I appreciate that introduction, man. That was very nice of you. Thank you very much, man.
I appreciate
you all right. I am a pusher. I do like to push, you know, things and people into directions where they already really want to go. So
I think it's important because sometimes we can get real. I know myself in the past. Sometimes you can think about all the downsides and all the things that may not happen and not worry about and focus on the things that should happen, what can happen. Do the work, see where you end up. You know what I mean? That's you. Period. Do the work. Keep going. We'll stop them. He's telling you what you can't do. That person's hating. Make them hate harder. You know how much they're gonna hate it. You know how mad they're gonna hate. You know how mad they're gonna be when you make it. You know how much they're gonna be hating when they see you doing it. Focus on that. Focus on that.
That's a fact. That's. I think it's important to you know, to understand what the true concept of support is, and I think a lot of times that's lost in amongst, you know, communities and amongst, you know, friend groups, as far as being a motivator and making sure that people know it's okay to be uncomfortable while they're discovering what they need to discover to get to where they need to go, you know. So that's kind of my main thing, actually, is to support and to, like, you know, bring optimism in a way that's like relatable, you know, and that it's not just like some fantastical thing, but it's actually like it steps to getting there. And I think that's been my energy from as far back as I can remember, and being around y'all cats, y'all in the same frequency, you know, and we all from different spectrums of frequency, but we conversation and the vernacular is the same. So yeah, I think that's important. I think that needs to continue to happen, and it is, you know, and it's becoming more evident within the times we are in now that was what we should have been doing, you know. So as far as, like, you know, mainstream is concerned, and the larger scale of like the Black man and things of that nature and how we're perceived and all these things. So yeah, I think it's good to be where we are in a I guess to be where we are as far as us being like awake.
Yeah. Talk about that perception though. Talk about like how you think, in your opinion, how Black men are being perceived. Because I mean, I think you even wrote something on Instagram not too long ago. You said you were an artist. What was it exactly?
Sometimes I feel like an artist. I feel like a man.
There you go. You're an artist more than you're a man, and you're a Black man before anything else. You know, like, so what does being a Black man to you mean to that? Particularly nowadays, man.
I mean, there's a lot that comes with it, you know, and growing up, I didn't realize that, you know, that it was a thing, because I grew up in Jamaica, so everybody around me was Black, so that was what I knew. And then when I moved to the States and realized that this world was a lot bigger than I thought it was, you know, as far as the many different ideals and the many different ways of life, I realized, like, I mean, being a Black man within that space was to be, you know, under a spotlight, if you will. And with being under a spotlight, certain energies come, you know, and it's not going to all be good. it ain't gonna all be bad, but it's not really easy to like sway it or to get away from it. So I just learned to pick and choose, you know, what I reflected when I was under that light, you know, and that's like, I think that's the concept of adaptation, you know, and being able to be who I am, but still be welcoming in certain spaces that I need to be, you know, and then still be confrontational in certain spaces that I need to be. And I think being a Black man ultimately means to understand the concept of balance, you know, more than anybody else, really, because there's a lot of situations, scenarios we get put in, you know, just based on our skin color alone, especially if you chocolate like us, that we have to, you know, we got to deal with certain things that a lot of people don't have to deal with. And just knowing how to conduct ourselves in those spaces. You know, I'm Jamaican before anything else. So a lot of time my temperament and my attitude and my brash, blunt delivery sometimes feels like I'm being disrespectful, but sometimes it's really just to, you know, just to establish things. You know, I think as Black men, we also have to understand that we need to set tones. I think that's important too, you know, in the spaces we're in, and not being like, you know, demanding of anything like that, but just, you know, making sure that we understand what the energy is and being able to live up to the energy that we expect in return too, you know. So I think mainly being Black for me is just to know that it's work.
Yeah.
Whatever kind of work, whatever space you could think of, it ain't nothing easy. I don't even believe in easy really at all, but much less being Black. I definitely don't. Ain't shit easy, you know what I mean? So I always looked at everything as work, you know. And when I say I just try to find passion within my work, so it makes me continue to find and discover new things in those spaces, you know, because I feel like everything's connected, especially as an artist. So yeah,
Something you said there, like
Black is just work, hella work.
it's like you're constantly. I mean, I guess that's life in general. There's always going to be some sort of struggle against anything, whatever you put that thing is. But there's something about you said about being like a Jamaican man in particular, because you know Josh is always joking about, probably with you too. It's about like this brashness, this directness. I thought that was just me, but I didn't realize when I look at all my family members, all the men in my family, they all just straightforward. It's not even like it's not even disrespect, and it gets so misinterpreted sometimes. We're just very direct. Like I grew up with all my cousins who were like in their 30s, crushing me, destroying me, jokes, like anything, your hair off, your suit off. I had like a ring around my lip when I was growing around, whatever. Like, I mean, anything, your haircut is off, like everything is getting clowned at, everything's getting talked about. There's nothing that's not touchable. Like everything is gonna be like diagnosed and like just I don't know, just kind of like it's gonna be made mention of, not in a negative way, just like, you know, it kind of prepares you for life. I didn't realize growing up like every single like thing that they were telling me was like getting my skin sharp enough and strong enough to take on the battles of the world. It's almost like a trial by fire, or like a baptism by fire. Like there's nothing that anybody can say to me at this point, even before this point, that anybody like could take me. I heard it from my fam. I was already prepared. While they weren't preparing me, quote unquote, that I knew to be a Black man, they were preparing me for life. Like, this is going to be the struggle. Somebody may not like your haircut. Somebody may not like you. Somebody may not like your skin color. They may not like how you talk. They may not like how you are. But you still got to be you. You still got to exert your place. You got to still take up space. You got to still, let people know that you have worth and you have value. Talk back to us if you got something to say. Don't be timid. Don't be shy.
Right.
Give me a space and know that you have a value and know that you have worth. Know that your voice should carry and go someplace. And people should be listening when you speak. Yeah, I never thought that was wrong. I had to grow up and realize, damn, am I telling you that? Am I being too animated? Did what I say hurt your feelings? I thought it was just the truth.
Yeah, nah, I definitely, I didn't realize it till, as a late, that a lot of the things that I was having issue with was cultural.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was saying, about being, Black in America, and there's all the different spectrums of versions of being Black, and just to know that all of it is work, and to understand that more than anything kind of helps with how I handle each situation, I think that's important too, to be able to customize the way I say what I have to say, because I'm always gonna say what I'm thinking, you know what I mean? And I'm not one to hold back as far as the depth of what I want to express, because I think that's important. I think a lot of times what happens is people just like to touch on surface level things, and they don't really dig into the things that are really the problem and really the issue. And me, I never really worked well in those spaces. So I challenge everything, And I ask not only the people that I'm around, but I also ask myself those questions on a daily basis, you know, and to make sure that I'm up to par and that the things that I'm trying to accomplish are actually, you know, getting accomplished. Because I believe all that, you know, that lines up with laws of attraction and, you know, the people that you're around, the people you attract who can elevate the things you're doing, and you can do the same for them. And I think these things are all connected. So yeah, nah, but I definitely realized, you know, it was cultural because I'm very blunt, you know, and all the homies that tell you like, if you want the truth, call me, you know what I mean? And that's a fact, you know what I mean? But it don't come with like just tearing you down. It also comes with like constructive, you know, and also like elevating and kind of like, I like to point out things that other people won't recognize or think is to be beautiful or great or powerful. You know, I think like the little increments of things where you're like, wait, what's that? Like, that's my thing. So attention to detail and highlight those things. So I try to make sure that a lot of my homies feel the same way and do the same because, you know, that's important.
To take a sip. So part of that, I guess, work and looking at that attention to detail, I know you use art, as you said, as therapy to get through those moments, to get through that struggle, to do that work. Would you say your primary work in life is art? Is like making meaning through it, finding your emotions through it, finding, I guess, creating a reality through it?
Yeah, I think that without it, I don't really see how to find a balance, you know, because we're taught so many things except for expression. You know, we're taught to defend and protect and, you know, and confront, you know, and be very, we're taught even politics, even in a sense, you know, to a certain level, but art isn't necessarily championed. And I feel like that's the thing that brings the most clarity, because you get to get these things off you and it doesn't damage anything. And it kind of implements like, you know, trust and all these other things and nurturing and all these other aspects of living that needs to be highlighted. To me, at least, I believe art to be a very feminine energy, and I think that I need as much feminine energy as I could get because I am so masculine, you know, and I need that balance. And I think me therapy is not really championed, or it's not really like a thing that's talked about. So I always use music and art as my therapy, and realize that it is, you know, it is practiced as therapy, you know, in many different ways. And I know the power of art, and I know the power of music, and I know what it does with me as far as like how it changed me throughout the years and the things I've been able to see and experience in the places in the world I've been able to be and go to based on the fact that I love art and music so much and I give so much to art and music. So I always look at it as therapy, and my intention in my songwriting and my intention in my art expression when I decide on my visuals and the story that I want to tell have a lot to do with therapy more than anything else, you know. And most times it's in the romantic space, but that trickles down into everything else, just on as far as a relationship, person to person kind of thing. And so yeah, I think that's super important to be in that space, to know that art is necessary and needed. And I call it arts and crafts. You know, people come over and I'll be like, yo, draw on my book. Like, you know, even if they don't want to, I don't care. Like, write something. You know, if you tell me how you feel, write 5 lines in that book right there over there. Or like, yo, I got some paint. You want to paint on this canvas I just started, but you could just finish it. You know, I think that's a very important conversation. And I think that it builds trust, and it lets people allow themselves to be vulnerable in times where they wouldn't think they'd be able to put their guard down. So I use it a lot in my practices and a lot of my collaborations. And when I songwrite, produce for other artists, art is heavily influenced in it, and it all becomes, you know, a world that we're designing, and it's all therapeutic, you know.
It's so rare, particularly as, I don't know, Black people growing up. Like, art wasn't something that was like a career or something to be championed. That was something that I remember in like my mid-20s when it was like, oh, you could actually take photos and put them someplace. And that's those Tumblr days, and seeing what you and Josh and them were doing with street etiquette and the adjacent sort of like cultural experiences that you guys were building. It was something that was new. I can say to myself, growing up, I'm 32 now, art was not something where, you know, if I tell my younger sister right now, you can be a photographer and you can really get a job from that. That was not something anybody would ever tell me growing up. It would not have been something that was a part of the conversation of being like a Black person growing up in America or Jamaica at that time. It was like some fantasy, don't get, you know, go get a real job type shit. And I think that transition of the past 10, 15 years has been beautiful because you're really giving someone the ability not just to become like a cog in a corporate system, but like you said, become something that is more grounded in vulnerability, grounded in emotion, grounded in humanity, grounded in something that's just not like numbers and decimal points, you know, something that has value to humanity versus like having like just value to a machine in a sense. And that's something I'm still struggling with, still trying to get through. Like just something as beautiful as going to, if I came to your crib and somebody like, draw something, tell me how you feel. It's a question that people take for granted, but a lot of people don't tell you how they feel. That is, tell me what you did today. Tell me your day. But no one really says, how do you feel? Mm-hmm. And like, it's such a rare question when somebody asks you, you just almost pause for a second. You go to the first generic BS answer. I'm like, I'm good. And then when you think about it a little bit deeper, then you get to the crevices. Then you start like figuring stuff out and start, okay, maybe I don't feel that great. Why is that? Where's that coming from? What's the source material? And that digging, I feel like we often don't get too much time to do. But you as an artist, or me trying to be an artist in that sort of space, it's like just that time to like self-reflect is something that I find to be very valuable. And I'm hoping for more moments of pause, to be able to reflect and dig a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, first of all, you are an artist, so don't even try to. I see how you're talking real fast. You try to throw that in there right quick that you're not an artist, but now you're definitely an artist, Cleon. Like, so don't even do that. And I think that the possibilities, based on technology, and based on online platforms as far as like Tumblr is concerned, and when we were first starting to come up and figure out what our voice was and what our messaging was via photos and things like that. I think those spaces kind of help cultivate that and build confidence within that time, as far as the things that we wanted to represent compared to what we were seeing and where we were growing up, and what we were around. And I think that it's a beautiful thing to be able to use technology to our advantage. And to know that we can tell our stories through photo and through story videos and all these things that we have access to now. And back then it was a little different because it was less about followers and more about impact. And it was less about clout and more about like delivery. Like what you delivered, not how much times you did it or how fast it happened, or And I think that that's kind of coming back now as far as the level of quality comparison to everything just being flooded with, just a bunch of imagery that have no real meaning or voice behind it. And that's just from my optics, what I mean? Someone's perspective could be different on it based on their experiences. But yeah, I think that I am very grateful for technology, and I'm very grateful to be savvy and have the patience to want to learn the different mediums of expression. I taught myself how to use Pro Tools when I was 19, and I taught myself how to use a camera when I was 22, and I taught myself how to do this. And, and I luckily I had people around me who were interested in the same things I was interested in. And I also, had access to YouTube, and I looked up how to do this and how to do that. I've been dyeing clothes for 7 years and like all these different things I never thought I'd be able to do. But, based on the access, that I have now, and the knowledge and my hunger to discover, that's always been a thing. But to actually go, because I remember being in high school and having to go to the library if I wanted to read something on Socrates or philosophy. I couldn't just type it in and find it, you know what I mean? And what that was like, and then being able to just be like, oh, I could just literally talk into my phone and ask Siri about this, and then she'll put me on game, and I'll go into the rabbit hole, you know what I mean? Because that's what I like to do. And I think that kind of implements self-discovery, and I think that a lot more people should do that and use technology to their advantage. I know a lot of times it's a distraction, but there are a lot of things you can learn, and a lot of things you can learn about yourself, within technology. I think it's important to champion that, that part of it, especially when we are fed the things we're fed constantly that don't necessarily implement any kind of positivity or any vision to, what we should be doing or what we should be going after. Yeah, so I feel you on that for sure.
What have you been learning over the past couple of months, just like for self, all the time to self-reflect, although you do it often anyway, but.
Yeah, I think that these past couple of months, I mean, based on the circumstances and the temperature outside, and based on, you know, it's just interesting to me because I spend a lot of time alone, and I ask myself a lot of questions, and I do a lot of deep diving, and I, you know, I constantly ridicule myself for the things I feel like I could have did better and all these things. I'm a very big critic on who I am, and I attest that to being alone a lot, you know, and wanting to be alone, and put myself in these cocoons and things of that nature. And I think that a lot of times society, you know, be like a FOMO and all these different terms of if you were not somewhere that shit was cracking, that you were not who you were supposed to be, or whatever it equated to, you know, to somebody. But to me, it's just, I don't really believe in things that like that. And I think that since no one had FOMO, you know, because there wasn't nowhere to be FOMO, it was nothing to be FOMO about because everybody was home, that a lot of people did a lot of reevaluation and realized, you know, that the superficial is not necessarily always the best route to go. You know, it's okay to use those things as motivation sometimes when you're trying to go after a certain goal or accomplish things, but for that to be the only reasoning for you to be doing what you're doing is not necessarily healthy long term, you know. So I think the intention shifted amongst a lot of people. But for me personally, um, my intention has always been that. So it just got deeper into that, you know, and I just was I'm constantly thinking about things on a more long, wider scale. So, you know, a lot of people think of things like 2 years or 3 years, and I think like 10, 15 years, because I already did the 2 and 3, 5 year thinking already, and I already know what that's like. So I just really got into establishment and doing a lot of research on finance and doing a lot of research on um, just like developing things, you know, just the development of structures that are, you know, complementary and, you know, in the spaces that I'm in. And that's mainly art and music and film. So that's really all I've been doing, you know, is just reading a lot of how-tos, you know, and get familiar with the things I didn't really have interest with in the past, and trying to find how I could connect the dots as far as my interests and those things that I wasn't interested in, make a bridge. So I really just been building a bunch of bridges, you know, in the past couple months.
What's on the other side of that bridge in the next 10 years then?
I mean, that's why I'm building a bridge. So I mean, I know what I want to be on. I know what I want to be over there. You know, like, you know, things, you know, industries shift, so everything moves so fast now. You know, like in 6 months, the music industry will be completely different from it was 6 months.
What you want? What would you want it to be? I'm really interested in your dreams, man, because they're like, I feel like unique and like vivid. You know what I mean? Like you really are.
I think that for me, it's you know, it's mainly about trying to figure out ways for people to identify with freedom, you know, and their concept of what freedom is, and try to find ways to symbolize that. I think that's the most important thing for me, you know, because I struggle with, you know, making certain decisions based on circumstances, you know, and then I have to talk myself out of it, or I just jump off. I just take the risk and just do it, you know. And I think that the main thing for me is just to show people what the possibilities are, and put them in place to actually accomplish those things, you know. So I want to create opportunity for myself, but I also want to create opportunity for the people who I know will impact the spaces and influence and be an inspiration to people where they're from. You know what I mean? So it's a little cliche, but you know, I think that that is really the root of everything is, you know, everyone's individual mind, you know, because a lot of times what happens is we move in packs, and you know, something becomes trend and everyone moves with the trend, and then if the trend is over, then the thing that we were trying to change is over. And I think that that would be different if it wasn't a trend, if everyone genuinely felt the same for real, you know, or understood the same perspective for real, and it wasn't just like, oh, that's cool now, let's do it, you know. And I think that we're really in the age of that, and I'm not saying that that's not a good place to start. You know, it's a cool place to start, and it's a part of, you know, development of something. But when I think about longevity, people need to just be in that mindset. So, you know, I just make music, you know what I mean, and I just and I just tell stories, and I just try to find stories to tell that people will want to live with, and then find inspiration in that, and then want to tell their own stories and be genuine in their own spaces, and you know, and combat the things they need to combat within their spaces, you know, because me, I'm not biting my tongue in the spaces I'm in. I'm always going to speak freely, and I'm always going to be myself. But I know how hard it is to be like that, you know, and I know how hard I work to get to this mindset and all the things I've been fortunate enough to experience to get to this mindset. And I'm still working on it, you know what I mean? So I just want to be able to, you know, deliver something that people could be like, all right, cool. I'll take this and I'll put it right here, and I'll put it right here, and I'll put it right here. And you know, that's kind of what I'm on. So, and that's pretty much always been my story. You know, I'm just like falling into it way more now, and understanding that it takes a lot of balance and a lot of patience to do those things. With it.
What you telling me that you don't want to tell me your 10-year vision?
No, I'm not.
I'm like, you said all of that, and I fuck with it, bro. Like bridges, authentic bridges for many people, so we can expand and get to those places of like real, genuine feeling and emotion and actualization. Awesome. You ain't telling me nothing about your vision, but I'm gonna let it go.
I'm not gonna play you, Clean.
You don't want to jinx it, because I'm okay. Fuck it. I'll tell you my vision for you. I want albums. For the end of the year, I don't want a single. I want an album. Just so you know.
Album by the end of the year.
I can answer the question that you had. Album or single? I want an album. You know what I mean? I want more albums. I want more visuals. I want more awards. I want more money. I want more tours for you. And just honestly, I just want you to get the recognition that you should get as a fucking talent. Like, you have an incredible singular voice. And it's been singular for the longest time. I remember going to those live at the Lofts, and I like really, and even those little, those small concerts you did down in the city with Josh. Like, your voice traveled through those spaces, and you like instantly created fans in a moment. Like, your voice, your words, they to me at least, they matter. And that's just not bullshit. I'm just being honest. Like, they matter. You're not like just some regular old singer. I'm do. You know, it's deeper than that. And I'm just being real. And I would hope for you to get to a place where you feel like that talent, that work, that effort that you've been putting in, that sincerity, you feel like it's been, you know, like properly seen and validated to where you're comfortable with it. Not everybody else to where you're comfortable with it. Because I know you're not at that point yet.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I think that I am very influential, and I do know that I've influenced a lot of people in a lot of spaces. And you know, life is life, man. You know, it's a lot of things that I had to learn and understand myself, because I don't have any mentors, or I wasn't, you know, signed to any labels. I did it independent for a very long time, and a lot of you know, trial and errors, and a lot of just being okay with making mistakes, and learning from them. And I think that my journey is very specific. It's definitely very specific, and it's very interesting. But I'm very grateful for everything I've experienced. And it took me a while to understand, you know, that my journey was different from everybody else's, and that, you know, the story that I want to tell is not necessarily the story everybody wants to hear, but they need to hear. And I feel like it is perfect timing for me to do the things or get to the level that you're speaking on. Yes, I do agree with you, Clean. Yeah, no, I'm with you, bro. I have a competitive nature. I mean, it's natural in me, being from where I'm from, growing up the way I grew up, and I do, you know, I am a hunter. That is my thing, and I do have this vision of what I need to accomplish personally. You know, I think that a lot of times it's easy to get caught up in that world and just be based on ego and just talk about that stuff. And I do talk to myself about those things, but I don't necessarily do it amongst people too much, you know, based on just how, you know, that's accepted in certain spaces. But yeah, nah, I'm with you, bro. I'm trying to I want to take this shit over, bro. I'm not, I know that's what you want me to say, and that's how I feel. And that's how we talk, you know, but I'm not taking it over just, you know, just on some, I want to be idolized shit either. I just got to be clear on that part. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of times you just see things and you know what's going on, and you're like, wait, what's that? You know, you just, your head turn a little bit, but nah, I feel you. I do feel like I deserve everything you're speaking on. So yeah, I'm with you. And that's what I'm working towards.
At a certain point in time, the real got to win. You know what I mean? And that's just what I believe. Like, I know there's a lot of commercial things, a lot of prepackaged things, a lot of things that you hit the right snap, 3 snaps, it just gets into your brain, you recite it over and over again, and it works. And I know there's a lot of that gets propagated, particularly in the music industry. It's a formula. Like, it just sounds so familiar to the blah, 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 to the other dude, to the other chick. And I get it, it works. It makes money. It's a machine. You know, it's a money machine. that
Right.
like sound like music, but it's a money machine. What you're hearing is money going through your ear and money coming out. But like, where the lyrics? Where's the
Right.
feeling? Where's the emotion? I want to fucking cry. I want to hear you keep going back to it.
Right.
I want to feel your story. I want to feel the moment. I want to know the shit that you went through. People know those albums. People know those songs, and they go back to it, whether they realize it or not. So like this cute, you know, transient moment of like hype and haha, it's cute. But at a certain point in time, we got to get to the real, back to the real shit. Because if we don't, then everything becomes, you got nothing to hold on to. And we're getting to a point in the world where I think everyone's kind of waking up and realizing like all the shit that we've been holding on to, we just sort of like these cons of art, these cons of culture, these cons of politics, they don't last. And all they do is have like running you into a ditch. I'm trying to fly, soar, and I need the things that's gonna make me take flight, elevate. You're one of those. You're one of those artists. And I just hope to everything, God, universe, you know, everything, that we get back to some real shit. We really necessary. Like Black people in particular, like we need real shit. We need real things. We need that shit that we put into the soil that grows into big, strong ass trees. We can't be throwing salt and sugar into the fucking earth and expecting something that's gonna grow. It ain't. We really got to start growing seeds and really planting them and watering them and going back to them and waking up and growing them again. And that's the work that you've been doing. And I just hope that sort of shit gets, you know, into our system and keeps going. Like you said, get back to the substance and not the passion.
I mean, I think that, you know, I had a moment where, you know, I thought that it was best for me to play the game, you know, and I did a deal with Def Jam and I saw what that was like, and nothing against them or anybody, you know, signed to them or anybody. Like, I understand it, but I found it that a lot of things that I wanted to champion, that it was hard for them to translate it to what they were comfortable with, you know, and so and that was like, you know, that was 3 years ago. I got my deal last year. I think it was the year before last year. And I got caught up in the system, you know, and a lot of things happened that weren't to my liking. And then I realized I had a lot of like realizations on those moments of getting back to myself and back to my fans and getting back to my story and the way I want to tell it, and not have nobody tell me how to tell it or what I should do while I'm telling it. You know what I mean? Like all these things that I just wasn't really with, because I've never really needed that aspect of support from those type of people. Nothing against them, but I just never worked well in that space. And you know, all my friends are visionaries, you know, and all my friends are amazing and talented, and we all push each other. So I'm in a way better space now than I was in the past 3 years, which is why I hadn't released any music, because I just wasn't in the right headspace. And I was trying to get all these monkeys off my back and free up a little bit. And that's why I spoke on freedom earlier and what that, you know, what your definition of it is. And for my definition, it's really just creative access and being able to tell and be as weird as I want to be as feminine as I want to be as masculine as I want to be, like be as Black as I want to be. Like, so now that's where I'm at now. And I'm grateful for it, you know, and that luckily I still could go back and listen to my old albums and be like, oh, and remind myself, you know what I mean? Like that, oh, that's where you from, you know, like for a second I wasn't doing that, you know, I wasn't doing any research on myself, you know, I was researching everybody else and everything else. And
you're your best muse, man.
Yeah, and I almost forgot for a sec. Yeah, and I started realizing that that I should just reference myself. I was tripping. I was like, everybody else referencing you. Why you not referencing you?
Mind you, like you're not. I mean, I don't say this to hopefully, you know, anyone that's listening or whatever doesn't get they get the point. Hopefully they get the point. Like you're not like a regular person. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you see a lot of singers and it's like doobie doo I do. I got women over here, blah blah blah. But it's like you really have a connection to people that's deep. You've had relationships, you've had different sort of situations that many people have never had that they sing about, but you actually had them, you know what I mean? Most people can't really talk about, you know, from a real genuine place, because you approach relationships the way you've lived. So it has a different ring to authenticity to what you do. So I'm really just excited to hear that you're creating from that space, that you're back to that space and back to being, you know, just different in the light. Because There's not too many people like you, man. I'm not in the LA bubble. Everybody's entertainer type shit. I don't know how that world looks like, but the world that I've seen, the people that I've seen who quote unquote are stars, and they
Yeah.
supposed to kind of shine the spotlight on them, they look like regular dull people to me. So man, you gotta like, bro, like you have an interesting story. You have a unique story, a genuine story. I don't see you as a regular person. You know, like one of my favorite writers is Fran Lebowitz, and her shit is like, yo, don't if you're thinking about writing something, don't.
Right.
Why? Because your life ain't interesting enough.
Right.
A lot of people right now, because we've had this democracy of art, this democracy of creativity, they think that their lives and their stories are actually interesting. And they're really not. You just may have the talent to do it. Just because you can write doesn't mean that you should be a writer. You need to actually have a life story to put behind the art for it to resonate.
Yeah, those are always my favorite. That's I like that you touching on that, Cleon, actually, because I think that's important to voice. You know, I think like it's about experience, you know, and most of my favorite artists, most of my favorite directors or favorite painters or poets or, you know, or script writers, their lives have been very like a lot of adventures, you know, a whole bunch of adventures. And I definitely, I've experienced a lot of things very specific to me. And I put myself through a lot of things, and I've sacrificed a lot of things. And I've definitely been on, as far as relationships are concerned, I've been in every different kind of relationship you could think of. And so I think those things, you know, those things teach me more than a lot of books I've read and a lot of films I've seen and a lot of lectures I've been to. A lot of those experiences teach me way more than anything else. And yeah, you're right. I mean, at first, that's why, you know, that's why I was saying clarity and being back to doing research on me and me being myself, my muse, and not referencing all this other stuff, is because I know that I'm actually authentic. You know, like I know at least that I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't necessarily say that the things that I'm referencing are all authentic. And, you know, the inspiration doesn't lack, but it's just not like the density of it, you know, how dense it is different. And so, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more dense these days. And it's shown in what I've been creating and the story I want to tell. And, you know, and the amount of bravery that I've been consistent in having, you know, that I lost sight of, because I think it's also important as an artist too, to be courageous, you know, to be brave and to do things against the grain and to speak on things everybody else, you know, it's not a trend, you know what I mean? Because it's easy when one person, you know, it's like Colin, right? It's like he takes a knee and everybody looks at him crazy, and then now, you know, everything's going on and everything is different within sports. But it's like now it's trendy to do it. So it's like, how do I know the value of what you're actually doing to be completely 100%?
I had a chance to stand next to it when it was there, when it wasn't safe, when it wasn't.
How do I know for sure? You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I look at things. And I'm down to challenge it, you know, and I'm down to be patient and wait it through. Like I'm never, you know, I do make judgment on things, but none of my judgments are set in stone. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's important to know, you know, because judgments, you know, the guidelines, but it's like theories, like it's like, you know, religious beliefs, all these things that we're presented with and we're fed all the time. It's like, all right, I can have a belief and then I can experience something and I could literally adapt my belief based on my experience. And I shouldn't be crucified for that. Like, that's actually development and evolution. That's literally what it is to live. Period. Yeah, that's what it is to be alive. It's to like learn some shit and be like, oh, that's not what I thought it was. Let me switch it up and like and grow. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, that's the main, that and intention and integrity are the three main things. You know, I think that's where we are right now, and that's necessary. So that's why I was saying earlier, like, I think the timing, as far as like what I've been saying for years, you know, and how I've been and the things I've been championing and, you know, and highlighting and being brave to speak on, like, I think now it's just like, you know, it's being accepted, whether it be trend or not. I'm just grateful that we're in the space we're in, you know, especially as Black Americans.
I'm just gonna internalize that for a second. I feel like sometimes I get quick to ask another question, but I'm still gonna internalize that for a second, because that was it's an important topic to talk about, like authenticity, being, you know, doing things because they generally feel right for you. Like, I think back, and I'm sure I'm skipping like 17 albums as I'm saying this, but like I was never like aware of scissor like other people were aware until Control, for example. And I just like you put that joint on, and you know this is her one-to-one. None of her songs like anybody else. The stories weren't like anybody else. The shit that she was talking about was like nobody else. The shit was so relatable because it was like a regular, real person, supermodel. I'm a dude. You know what I mean? Listen to this like, yo, this shit is relatable. I understand that. Not having control, like love. I mean, like literally, because the story was so authentic, I can put myself in a place as a woman listening to Supermodel, listening to 20 something, which was related to a lot of people. But it's like, and those are the things that I truly believe that after time, when people get their chance, when the mind's right, when the moment is right, it really cuts through because it becomes universal. When you actually are a real person, putting your real soul into something, no matter who you are, no matter where that person is in their life, they can realize this as a universal human story. And sometimes like, I know the moment in the past, maybe the past couple of years, it hasn't felt like that. It's been a lot of money grabbing, people like trying to make dough into excess. This is an easy path. You add 1 + 1, you got a new house or whatever. Right. But I think the real is coming back, and I'm glad that you're in the space that you are, because it's just like, it tells me that the feeling is not just like amongst a small group of people, although we know each other, but it's like spreading. It's on the coast. I think about LA, and like the couple times I've been there, it's felt no disrespect to y'all out there if you're listening. I love the place, it's beautiful, but it's felt so industry obsessed. So, and I get it, like there's a hunger to want to get actualized and become the person that you came out there to be. But there's something that's so like diabolically superficial about it sometimes that I don't even know how people out there navigate. Maybe it's just the way I've moved in the past and the places I've been at, but have you like run into that while you've been there? Like how do you navigate the space of LA? Or is it just overblown? I don't know.
I mean, I find it that I find California, the state of California, the history of California to be very interesting, because a lot of movement started on this side of the country, and a lot of development as far as Black people specifically kind of started on this side. Like, not all of it, but a lot of it happened here. But it's also, where entertainment was born, as far as the film industry is concerned, and everyone being here to be in entertainment. And so, yeah, it's a tricky thing, but I've never felt so supported, actually, as far as like my peer group is concerned, or been able to be in spaces or in rooms with all different levels of people, and still see that everyone is actually still very humble and still want to talk. And this is just my experience. I've been in rooms with a lot of people and you'd be like, wait, that person's friends with that person and they do this together and you didn't know that, like, and in New York, I didn't feel that. Just only with the homies, I felt that, you know what I mean? Like, and then we was like, all right, so we the homies, we don't know them over there. So we not going over there, and we don't know them over there neither. And if they come this way, it ain't gonna be all the way cool, And I felt that a lot when I was in New York, and that's the competitive spirit. And based on geographically, since it's so small, New York, and since it's so saturated, I felt like that was a lot of the energy, and a lot of times, a lot of opportunity for people to collaborate or come together and develop something great was kind of like automatically just like uprooted just based off the strength of that. And I feel like a lot of times in Los Angeles, you'd be like, who worked on this song? They'd be like, this person over there and this person did that song together. How did they do that song together? Oh, they went to such and such house just to kick it. Then they just went to piano. And you're like, wait, what? And I think a lot of times, like, that's what I was missing, that just that openness, and that willingness to just, I want to create something. Even if it was like, oh, this is my last chance to make a hit, but even if that was energy, like I still could decipher and decide whether or not if I want to participate. But the fact that I even have the privilege to participate, is something that I hadn't felt in a long time. Even like my last album, Bartholomew, like I worked with all these people, that I had been fans of, that were fans of mine that I didn't know because I lived in New York and they lived in LA. But when I got to LA, they were like, yo, come to my house. My mom's cooking dinner. Or, yo, we about to go here. Like, come to this bonfire we having. Or like, yo, we at the studio tonight. Pull up. And the next thing I know, I'm working on my album. And I'm like, yo, I'm working on my album. And Sid and Willow coming to my studio house to work on the record. And Luke James is pulling up. And Trinidad James is pulling up. And No Name's pulling up. And I'm like, what? Like, this is blowing my mind, and everyone's actually like listening to, like doing what I'm asking. Like I hadn't felt with no resistance, like,
So with no resistance.
with no resistance. You know, like I remember when I did Interview with No Name, you know, and Michael Uzuru did the record, and I had the track, and you know, I had a couple homies play on it, and I'm like, damn, I need No Name on here, and I hit her up, and she pulled up. And she wrote in my notebook. She wrote all the lyrics. I still got the notebook. She wrote all the lyrics out in the notebook. And she was like, I am so into you, my beautiful darling, the one that bit the forbidden fruit. I was like, whoa. And she just rapped it right there. And then and that was it. We smoked some weed after, and she bounced. And that energy is what I had been missing for so long. Because a lot of times I was just giving. I would write a song for this person, produce for this person in New York. Right? But it was never like, you know, and people might have thought that I didn't need it or I didn't want it, but, you know, just to even have the choice to do it, you know. So I feel like that energy is a lot more present here. And all the other shit, I just opt the fuck out.
That's beautiful to hear, man.
I just say no. Like, it ain't, I'll leave. I've been plenty of situations with what you talking about, and I bounce. I just be like, oh, nah, this ain't for me. And I leave. Like, I've never had to put myself next to nobody to feel no type of way about who I am. I already know who I am. So it's going to be what it is. And I could experience that anywhere. I could go to Italy and walk up in a party and be like, oh, nah, they doing all kind of things in here that I do not do. So I will exit, because I know once the shit hit the fan, the first person that might get in trouble is my ass. So I'm leaving. Like, it's not like I've always been like that. You could ask my bandmates, you could ask all the homies. Like, I'm very well aware of my environment. So I thrive in the environments where I know to thrive in, and I exit the ones I know to exit. That's what I'm on. I ain't on nothing else. It's like when we was up in Tahoe and y'all wanted to go skydiving, and I looked on the website and I seen the environment. I'm not jumping out no plane.
You are not doing that shit. You are.
If this is where y'all jumping out from the plane from, and I'm reading the reviews and looking, I'm not doing that. Like, and I got no problem with that. And y'all came back and y'all had a great time and y'all loved it and y'all showed me the videos. And what I said, that's what's up. Y'all did y'all thing. Like, and that's that. And that's the same with my lifestyle anywhere I go, regardless if it's LA, Hawaii, Mexico, Japan. It's always gonna be that. Like, I know who I am. I know what I'm here for. I know what I want to attract. I know what my focus is. So all that other bullshit that come with it, I don't gotta tolerate or I gotta deal with. It's been, bro, when I got out here, it was publicists being like, there's these actresses that want to date you, and here's the list of them, and we just set it up and we could do paparazzi, and I fired them.
So that's not BS. That shit really happens. Wow.
Yeah, everything that you think of, I'm pretty sure has happened. I mean, everywhere. But I'm just saying, like, it's gonna happen. Like, regardless, you know, if we do what we do for a living, at some point in time, we're gonna be presented with things that don't align with us. You know, it's just, people just perceive that to be what the lifestyle equates to, and it's not the truth. You know, at least not your truth. So I know what my truth is, and everybody who know me, or if you talk to me for long enough, if you don't gotta know me that well, if you have a 5-minute conversation with me, you would know what I mess with and what I don't mess with. Point blank, period. Like, and that's what I give off, and that's what I was talking about earlier with setting the tone. So since I've been in LA, all I've been doing is setting the tone, and if I don't like something, I bounce. And if somebody don't like me, they don't like me. I don't care.
There you go. Clarity. Clarity, life clarity. But I mean,
yeah, like, it ain't for me. It ain't, if it's not feeding me and I ain't feeding it, why we eating?
There you go. I mean,
I don't want to eat it. I'm straight, man. Don't look, no.
Right.
That ain't the type of food I like. I'm straight. I'm out. I'm gonna go cook, and I'm gonna go cook at the crib the food I like. Feel me?
What? I mean, random statement. Everybody, what kind of food you like? Just, I'm curious. Being out there, I know it's a random question, but I was interested.
I'm Jamaican, so we're gonna go Jamaican food at the top of the list. Always.
Making sure.
Yeah, and then right after that, you know, we do Japanese. You know, we do ramen and sushi, and then right after that we do Italian. You know, pasta my thing, and you know, when I was broke, throw some pasta in the pot, get some sauce. You know, it's kind of like thing now. You know, the pasta might be a little bit more fancier these days, maybe every once in a while, but for the most part, those like the top 3 for me. And then, you know, then we get into Thai food and all that. I mean, I like everything, but those are top 3 for sure.
Thinking about that, like, so what's the daily regimen? Like, I want to go through like a regular day because I know you're like very like intentional about like setting your space and your environment, candles, scents, the weed, the wine. I mean, so like, tell me about the regular day. I'm not really curious. Like, how do you set your?
Yeah, I mean, mostly for me, yeah, it is about curating my environment, and I look at everything as curation actually, like down to what I'm eating for the week. I do a lot of intermittent fasting, and then I pick and choose what my meal is gonna be. I try to forecast it as much as I can, and then I eat a lot of fruit. I think that's important. I think people should eat more fruit. Um, it's very good for you. A lot of natural like enhancements in fruit. Um, so I do that, and then I do my vitamin thing. I mean,
I'm
I do
talking
what I think. What you talking about?
And I'm
What you
talking
asking?
about vibe setting, man. Tell me about your candle game. Tell me about your
Oh, I mean, I'm scents. Yeah, nah. I feel like scents are very all right. So scents are very important. I like each scent react. Your brain, your hormones in your brain release based on each scent. So like a lot of times I'm in lavender because it's a stress relievant. Jasmine second, close second. So them two, I go back and forth between those two. If I'm feeling like I need to switch the energy up, I do like vanillas and
Mhm.
things a little sweeter. You know what I mean? So that be the vibe really. With the scent stuff, and I mean, Nag Champa on deck. You already know I got the incense. I travel with incense. I'm the nigga with the incense in my bag. Like it's in my bag. Like so, if I go somewhere, like I'm pulling up with the incense. If I got a session somewhere and I don't know like what's the vibes gonna be, I'm gonna bring the vibes. I'm bringing the incense. I'm bringing the Palo Santo. I'm bringing all that.
I'm just trying to let them understand that because I remember you brought the instance to Lake Tahoe. I'm like, this
Yeah. No, I definitely do that. And then as far as the weed's concerned, I'm like a hybrid dude.
Mhm.
My favorite strand, Blue Dream. Like, that's my energy. Like
Mhm.
Blue Dream, my thing. And then close second, Green Crack. That's a little bit more on the sativa side. A lot of homies don't like the sativa; they like indicas. But I don't like feeling sleepy. I like feeling like I got a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's the kind of weed I like to smoke. I mean, but I don't do a lot of it either. I do like I might do 3 times a week or something like that. I try not to get too crazy with it because I'm a businessman, so I
I
gotta be.
know, I know, I know.
We do got to make money and we do got to make art. So
I'm on that same way, man. It's like a nice meal to me. Something for, I won't say special occasion,
yeah,
something like when you earned it. I feel like if we
yeah, you feel me?
I
Exactly.
would enjoy myself.
Right.
And then after the weed, I enjoy myself even more.
Yeah, man, that's a fact. Nah, that's a fact. And I think, and I think, we be stressed. There be a lot of stuff we got to deal with on a day to day that a lot of cats don't, you know, a lot of cats don't got to deal with. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, like people who not black. You know what I mean? So I'm like, look, man, I'm not an abuser. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm a vice killer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very much like, oh, I've had too much of that. And it's very apparent. No more of that. And I cut it off. You know what I mean? And I give myself, for a month or 3 months, I'm not messing with this. I'm not messing with that. So I think that's also important. You know what I mean? To like set the tone in that space too, and make yourself like obedient. You know what I mean? This like self-discipline is not the easiest thing, especially now. So I just try to implement it as much as I can. Like even in my music, sometimes when I'm producing a track, I'm like, I'm only gonna use this keyboard and this drum and this bass. I ain't using nothing else. And I try to make the hottest thing I can make out of them three things, like because sometimes the access is poisonous too, and to be and have all the options is overwhelmingly like it seems like, oh, this is power, but it's actually the opposite. Sometimes it take away the power. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sometimes you need boundaries to really like be creative.
yeah, yo, I think boundaries is man. That's like my word. If somebody called me and be like, somebody got a problem, I mean, I always say like, it sounds like somebody needs to set some boundaries. I tell myself that I'm like, oh, like you ain't do this, this, and this, and why not? Oh, because the boundaries wasn't set right. The parameters wasn't locked in. Like you ain't know how much land you had to work with. You thought you had this whole jungle. Nah, you got this little part of the jungle, boy. You better tighten up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know why you want all the responsibility. You should only really want what you could really handle for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what happens. Like, a lot of people think they're capable of a lot more than they actually capable of, and they can't even hold down the fort for real. Like, so I never want to be one of them. I never want to be one of them dudes. Like, I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna do what I say type dude. So I'm gonna make sure that what I'm saying is what I can actually do.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna say nothing more than that. If I over deliver, great. It's wonderful.
But I ain't never gonna be like, yo, I got the hottest album that's ever came out ever. I'm never gonna talk like that. I'm gonna think it in my head. I'm gonna be like, this is really good music. But I'm not gonna be out here like, oh, man, ain't nobody touching me. Nah, I'm gonna deliver. And if people feel like that when they hear it, then that's how they feel. That's not up to me.
It's interesting that you said it because, you know, I feel like that's something I struggle with too. It's like, I just want the work to speak for itself, but I realize these days, like, you got to be like you got to be selling after every, like after you said that statement, I should be like, yo, and just so y'all know, my book is available. Selling, like, I see it, like there's people who literally, like, they're not even artists. They're just salespeople with a craft. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even what you are is a salesperson, my G. Like, you are a seller. You just happen to do it. You're just selling this art, but you are a sales. I won't even lie. I can't even begrudge them because they're so good at it, but it's like their art actually is their sale. It's like, it's literally beginning, pitch. You see the art, and close. Always be closing. Like, I did this song, just so y'all know, my shirts is available in the merch store, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, just so y'all know, like, my blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, how are these people so good? I'm not even thinking about that shit. I'm always just so focused on the art. I get lost in I be forgetting I'm supposed to be selling some shit.
It's a hard thing to balance, you know, as an entrepreneur, you know, and somebody who wants to live the life you want to live, you know, it's definitely hard to balance. And I definitely struggle with it. I'm not going to front. I struggle with it, you know, and I got a lot of homies who are very good marketers. You know, I call them, it's marketing. And me, myself, you know, I am from the world of let the work speak for itself. But yeah, it's a lot of work out there.
Exactly.
It's all it's a lot of work. So, you know, you got to claim your territory. You know, I that's how I break it down. I'm like, all right, this is my territory. All right, cool. I got to claim it. You know what I'm saying? And whatever that means to me, that means to me. I'm not a gimmicky dude. You know, I'm not going to be like, all right, so I have a large female audience, so I need to do this. Like, I'm not going to think like that. You know what I'm saying? But I do have moments where I have to have those conversations with myself, and they're becoming more and more common. Those conversations with myself, they're happening more frequently. And so I hear you, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's no shame game. It's the no shame game.
Yeah. Sometimes I be having shame. I won't even lie. Sometimes I just don't like.
It's the no shame game, and like I go back to culturally, like growing up, I was not taught that. You know, I was not positioned in that light. You work, you eat what you kill.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the energy, and now it's like, nah, you say you killed it, even if you didn't kill it.
Yo, so there's people out here like you would think that they killed every animal in the forest, bro.
Like, yo, you really got it, bro. You really doing your thing.
That was me. I went out there with my fucking my sound box, put my album on, the whole fucking forest burned down. That was me. California, that was my album.
I commend them. I'm from a straight, like, we silk screening the shirts in my apartment. We going to Broadway and we selling them, you know, as like off the racks. And then when we run out, we're gonna go buy some more t-shirts and print them again. That's where I'm from. I'm not from like, yo, I got this really great idea that I want to sell you.
Right. And then they done made $1 million off the idea by doing nothing. You're every single day trying to figure out, like, what am I doing wrong? I have my man over here with how is my man's ideas more valuable than my actual goods, my product, my execution?
Presentation, delivery, you know. So yeah, it's how things are delivered. And so yeah, I've never been bad at that. I've just never been one to be gimmicky about it. So, you know, with that, just takes longer, you know, for things to turn over. But they turn over, you know. Like, people hit me up about an album I did in 2008, Beauty Created, and like it just came out because I deliver, you know, and all my albums are very well delivered. You know, the presentations are good too, but my sales pitch ain't like, you know, this is God's great gift to the planet Earth, and if you drink it, you know, you're gonna live forever. It ain't that, you know what I mean? My sales pitch is, you know, try it out and throw it in your meal and see if throw it in the joint like a spice, and if it make it taste better, then make it taste better, you know. And I'm gonna stay like that, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like you almost, and it's funny that you said it, because I feel like you almost pushed, like, Furs, the Murky song, you know, that was beautiful what you wrote, like that friendship, the connection to the childhood friend, the how you guys made the album together, your production. So, I mean, like, that was like, it was so beautiful. I'm like, damn, he wouldn't even do that for himself. But I mean, that just speaks to you.
Yeah.
But it speaks to your relationship with him, obviously, with Chris like that. But it was like, I've never seen you, and maybe you have, and I missed it. But I haven't seen you be that intimate about your own work. Give that story from way back to it, and just go through that little I don't know, something about that I felt like really resonated in like a beautiful sentimental mode. And of course, I've been playing the song.
Nah, you right.
I want to do that from you, but it's almost like you need somebody to do that for you, for your own work.
You right.
I
never thought about that.
I'm like, yo, just send all your fans all the singles and have them talk about it and have people go from your fans to you.
Yeah, it's interesting because not a lot of people know that I produced all the music. People don't know that I produce, and people don't know that I did all the art direction or all the video concepts. Because I don't, I just look at it as a part of my art expression. I never looked at it as these singular things. And because everything is hyphenated, so everybody's like, I'm a this, and me, I was like, oh no, I'm an artist and I'm trying to get my art off.
Oh, you're like a real
however I need to get my art off, I'm gonna get my art off. But but then when I'm in a production seat or I'm songwriting with my homies, or just artists that ask me to songwrite, like Lacey or anybody like that, then I start recognizing my gifts, and I start recognizing my importance in certain spaces, because when I'm doing it for myself, it's just for me it's therapy for me. It ain't for me to be praised or nothing, or it ain't for me to be like, I did that. It's like, thank God I did that. Man, if I didn't do that, I don't know what I would have been feeling like in the next 3 months. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do it. So I do have a hard time with speaking on those things and being like what we were talking about earlier, being a person that says they produce and do the styling and do the art direct. I never cared about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the homies always tell me yo, you should tell people that you're a photographer. And I'm like, but I'm not though. I'm just an artist with a camera. That's what I am. I'm not a photographer. I take photographs, and you might like them. You think they're cool, and they might translate something to you or evoke something to you emotionally, but that's art to me. Photos is a whole technical thing that I'm not on. A lot of things in photography, I'm not keen to, or I don't practice. And so I look at myself as an artist. And so that's why I have a hard time with that, what you're speaking of. But when I think about my friends, like Fur, he one of the coldest dudes I know. It ain't even hard for me to say that. I'll put him up against anybody. I will put him up against from any era. I don't even care about not even just this generation. Mm-hmm. And I got no problem with saying that. And I would give him whatever if he say, yo, I need this. I need this type of song. I'm gonna try to figure it out, because I know if he asking for it, then he gonna get on it and go crazy, And that's always been. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So so that's my favorite thing to do, And I like to do it for myself, but I like to do it for other people too. And it's like we talked about earlier, the balance and the boundaries thing is kind of what I've been getting into now, because for the past 3 years, all I was doing was producing and songwriting for a lot of other people, a lot of people, and giving a lot of people ideas and being okay with that, because I was just such an aware space as an artist, as a person, for my person, how I felt about myself artistically. It was a lot of confusion for me. I was still creating at a high level, and I'm always gonna create at a high level, but that don't mean that how I feel about it after gonna be the same as if I'm in the right headspace and I create at a high level. Then I'm like, oh. So a lot of times, even now, going back and figuring out my album and stuff, I'm listening to things that I've done in the past that at first I didn't think was good, and now I'm listening to it you're an idiot, you're dumb. You know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with that. I'm like, damn, I'm even grateful that the music that I did made me feel like that, So, because I'm always gonna make new shit. I'm never gonna stop that, but I need to, I need to let go of these things. I need to get it off me. So that's where I'm at now, and I'm happy that I'm here. And you're right. I don't know why that's the case. I don't know what that is.
Every really great artist that I know the exact same way though. Every super true tried and true. There's people who are creatives, do creative shit, and then every artist I do this shit. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not thinking about everything else. They're all the exact way. They don't even know how to engage with it. Whether it's compliments, whether it's from promoting themselves, it almost gives them anxiety to know that other people like their work, because then they have to receive it and then accept that it's actually good. And it's it wasn't some shit that was in my brain that I thought was half-assed when I just put it out there. Now it was actually really, really great. Take it. And I mean, maybe myself to a degree too, but
right.
No, it's almost
I think we all challenge with that to some degree, right? And I think that
the coldest
a lot of
confidence.
What you say?
It's almost like the coldest don't be having the confidence, like, because they just,
Yeah,
because they know they got more. They know they could do better. They know.
that's what I was gonna say. It's the confidence is there. I don't think it's
Yeah,
that.
that's
I
the way
think
it is. Like, I got
it's
more, man. Like, this is just that thing.
yeah, it's just like it's a futurist mentality. I think that's what it is really. It's like the
You
curse
know
of
what? You said something about that. You can't wait for your present self to catch up to your future self. I think that's what it is. It's like, you know, like this is all these other gems that you got to get. So like the moment, that was a moment, but it's even more. So it's almost kind of hard to slow down and catch the moment when you know this is
yeah.
something to come.
And now I'm really grateful for this time because that's that's kind of what's been happening, because man, I work on so many things and I've been like building and developing so many things for such a long time, and I never thought that I would catch up to what I envisioned it to be, and then I realized like, oh, like I am the vision. So when I'm catching up to, I'm like, don't make no sense. It's like, no, you need to slow up to yourself, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's actually the other way around. And so I've realized that, and I have to remind myself constantly because you get stuck in these mindsets and you practice these things and they're not necessarily healthy for you long term when it comes to like getting things, out and accomplish in the time you need to get them done. Because a lot of times things be done already and you just sitting on the shit and you like looking over and you like, what you think? You're like, bro, you done asked me about this 10 times. I done told you the same thing 10 times over. You're like, okay, so you sure, right? And and I do that with myself. I listen to songs. I'm like, this song's too different. I'm like, what did I say right here? Like, she want me to surround her with barbed wire to protect her from the night house. I'm like, what? Like, and then I'm like, who knows what that means? And I'm like, but then I'll play it for somebody and be like, this is crazy. Like, you wrote that? I'm like, yeah, I mean, I done wrote a lot of crazy things in my life that I thought was okay. And then I put it out and people like, your pen crazy. I'm like, exactly. Oh, that half sleep at 4 a.m, just out of dream. Like, I don't even, that's just my subconscious. So I think it's just an acceptance, that's where I'm coming to is like accepting like that it's like you enough, right? Like as hard as you think you got to work for something in order for it to feel like it's good enough, it's not it. Like you've been working hard, you know what I'm saying? Like, and if you work hard innately, you enough. Like that's just a natural thing that they supposed to correlate. But based on like my upbringing and my mentality and where I'm from and being independent for so long and all these things where I had to fight and fight and fight and fight and fight and like figure out these innovative ways to find myself on 106 and Park. I had to hit this dude up and then figure out who his girl was and then send her the music. And then next thing you know, she playing at his house and he like, oh, my girl like your music. But he don't know I sent her, you know what I'm saying? Like all these different things I had to like think about and develop in my mind all these strategies in order to be like accepted by certain people who wouldn't accept me usually because they would look at me like, oh, his hair wild, his pants tight, he got on, you know what I'm saying? Like all this judgment stuff I had to like get through as far as like my peers are concerned, all these things. I had to always come up with all these different creative ways in order to be like heard, you know what I mean? And a lot of times I exert so much energy in that space, like I deplete the energy from the other side, which is like to tell myself like everything that I'm working on now is flames. Mm-hmm. And then, and then you get in a place where you start playing stuff with people and everybody's like, I think this and I think this and I think that. And everybody's valid and that's great. I was like, but nobody asked me questions. Like nobody know where I was at when I did it. And then the people who really ask the questions is my fans and my supporters. And when people hear it, they're like, yo, when you wrote this song, yo, what it made you feel? Because I felt like this when I heard it. And like, these lyrics mean this to me. And they breaking down things that I never would look into in the depth they are. And that's what I make music for. And that's what I create for it. And a lot of times I lost sight of that, like in the rat race thing. And I'm done. Like I'm not, like rat race shit is, that shit sleep for me. Ain't no more rat race over here. We're not doing that over here. I'm providing a service to the people that want my service, and that's it.
I love that, man. That shit is so clear. What you just said right there is like literally so fucking clear. Like you on it. I don't gotta ask them more questions, but I'm gonna ask them more. But you on it. Like that right there is it. I think that right there is really the energy of like 2020, and definitely for you and everybody else. Like just go to the people that want it. They're the ones you're trying to get to anyway. Who gives a fuck what the other person thinks that's, in the same space as you or got a question or they want to put another snare on this or snare on that, or you should probably do that word. Like, it's the word I like. You know what I mean? This is the word I'm going to use.
Right.
They fuck with it. I catch them on the next one. Right. I'm just trying to live in that too. Like just living those words. Like this is what I wanted. This is my intention. And I know if it's real and I feel strongly about it, other people going to feel strongly about it too.
Factual.
Because, and sometimes I'm just trying to like I'm not trying to cut my shit up no more. I want to, if this is pure, like pure cocaina.
That's what I feel.
Cocaina, and
Right.
I think it's pure, it's going to be pure when it gets out there. Like, I don't want to cut my shit, stop stepping on it, stomping on it, putting bleach and fucking baking soda in my shit. Like, I think this shit is pure. I'm going to put it out.
Yeah, yeah. If I grow my tree the way I grow my tree, do not trim my branches. Let my tree grow. Let my shit go like how I want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm on. I'm with you for sure.
All right. So I feel like I've asked your ass enough questions. You saying share something with me, unless you got something you want to ask me or something that you want to share that you think is important.
Nah, I was gonna acknowledge you, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Like, that's dope, bro. Like, thank you very much, you know, for that insight and for being so free about speaking and setting aside your ego in a lot of space and to express the things you express, man. I appreciate that, man. It's important, you know, and I think we need to do it like amongst each other a lot more and be a lot more vulnerable, you know, and practice that. So I appreciate it. I appreciate this conversation for sure, man. A lot of light. Thank you.
I mean, honestly, Jen, I'm not even joking. Like, that means so much coming from you, honestly, because it's like you're just a realist, you know. I really mean it. Like, to me, when I think about you, it's just like, it's just real. It's honesty. Like, I know you're not gonna sugarcoat shit. If you don't like something, you're gonna say it. If you can feel something, you're gonna say it. And I just always valued your opinion. I know I'm not always, you know, asking for the shit, but it's like I know when you speak, it's coming from a place that's genuine. That's one thing that's I think all of us that know you and like really resonate with you, they get like Jesse's the person that's gonna tell me the truth.
Yeah, and congratulations on your book, bro. I remember when we was talking about it a little ways ago back, and you was telling me about it, all the ideas and concepts and all that stuff. And I know you had a lot on your plate to even get it done to the way you got it done, man. Respect to you for that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
give us something else, man. You have the guitar. Like, I'm not gonna ask you to play if you don't want to play, but I mean, I'm asking. People don't know this. This is actually like a daytime late night talk show. I want
you live. Yeah, I see how you get down. Yeah, I'm rusty, bro. That's why I got the little practice guitar so I can get my skills back up because I ain't playing a long time. So
voice sounds like an angel shit.
I could tell by the way she held me. She was looking for love.
No, keep going. What are you talking about? You know, you got to keep going, bro. Give me a little more.
Oh, shit, man. That's all I got, man. I don't know if I sound good, man. We get to warm up and that, man. I appreciate you, Cleon.
You were just about to go ham
on that note. We up out of here.
Understand, this nigga's not normal. He's not regular. Please, like, this dude's voice is incredible. God damn it. Yo, bro, you are fucking the truth.
You're gonna get it, bro.
You are. I mean this genuinely, bro. I mean it genuinely.
I appreciate it, bro.
I really want you to get to the place where you just letting the world know like who you are. I want you to have that stage that you
about to say you about to say let these niggas know. You let these niggas know.
But it's like yo, like seriously though, like let these niggas know, man. Like they don't got your voice. The energy is not there, bro. Like look at the small glimpse. Do you understand the dude got greatness on fucking tap?
I'm on it. Nah, we're gonna get into it, Cleon, for sure, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Nah, this is what I needed, bro. I thank you very much, yo. Straight up, all right?
Thank you, bro. I appreciate your time. Thank you again. I'm getting something that people gotta understand. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? It's easy. Very easy.
I gotta practice, man. But we're gonna get on it though, all right, bro?
I love you. Thank you.
All right, love you too, man. Peace, bro.
Peace.